Welcome back to Good Evening KU. I'm Ella.
And I'm Kiri.
So last night was a big night.
It was.
It was election night. How were you watching? What were you doing?
I was just watching the NBC broadcast and flipping back and forth between NBC and that coverage all night until 3 a.m. and then the election map on Google and just watching the states kind of change color on there. So it was a little bit stressful.
You were up late.
I was up late. My 8 a.m. canceled. I'm not sure if it was because of the election, because she canceled for today and Friday, or why exactly, but I was I don't have class till 12:30, so I stayed up and I watched the election till 3 a.m.
I gave up, I think, at 11:30. I was like, there's too many swing states to be called. I'm tired.
I was really nervous.
Yeah, that's really fair. I went to bed and I was like, maybe I should have stayed up later, but I saw it this morning.
I didn't want to wake up in the morning and not know, so.
That's fair. I found out pretty fast.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. That's what I was scared of. I was scared of opening my phone this morning and just seeing a blip, so I was like, I'm just going to watch it all at night.
That's smart.
Yeah. What'd you do for Halloween?
I keep forgetting that was last weekend. I feel like it's been so long.
I know, with the election and everything yesterday, I feel like it's been a really long, I feel like it's 2 weeks.
I know.
But
yeah. I just stayed in with my friends. I went over to my friend's apartment and we made little Halloween treats that looked like
fun.
Ghosts.
Yeah.
Kind of. If you looked really close, they looked like ghosts. But yeah, it was really fun. It was a chill weekend, which I really needed, a chill weekend. So what about you? What'd you do?
So for actual Halloween, I went out with my friends, and that was really fun. And then I went home Friday morning to early vote in Tulsa. I'm from Tulsa. So I waited in line for 2 hours with my dad.
Jeez.
Got my I voted sticker. They clap in Oklahoma for first-time voters. So that was really humbling. I came up to the booth and they were like, "You look like a first-time voter," and started cheering for me and yelled, "First-time voter." Yeah.
That's way more fun because I voted on a mail-in ballot, and I just kind of put it in the envelope and sent it on its way. And I was like, I didn't get a sticker, so did I really vote? I don't know.
I didn't like it at all. I didn't like it at all. So then I voted, and then I ended up just staying in Tulsa for the entire weekend. I didn't have any other Halloween costumes. I didn't want to spend money, so I just stayed in Tulsa until Sunday evening. And then Sunday morning we had a tornado warning, and all the sirens went off. And there was a tornado, and I was wishing I was back here.
Yeah.
Because even though I'm from Oklahoma, I am deathly scared of tornadoes and severe weather. So
that's really fair. It was rainy here, so you really weren't missing anything.
Yeah, even with the tornado warning in Lawrence last week, I was terrified, to say the least.
That's really fair. I'm from Iowa, so I feel like tornadoes are just part of how I grew up, so they don't faze me.
Same, but they still freak me out really, really bad.
That's so fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the weather, we're actually going to hear from Aiden about the weather later. But right now, we're going to toss it over to Braden and Phillip to tell us about politics.
Hello and welcome to our election segment of Good Evening KU. I'm Phillip Givens, and this is Braden and Joel. Braden, how are you feeling today?
Man, today's a great day to be a great day.
And with the election yesterday, obviously, one side's disappointed, one side's happy. How are you feeling so far?
Well, that one side's happy, one side's disappointed. I feel like that happens every year. I remember 2016, half of the world thought their life was over. This was the end of America, and the other half rejoiced. Same exact thing happened in 2020, and I'm already seeing the same thing happen now.
Yeah, and today it's a nice day out and
beautiful.
Yep, exactly. And I feel that both sides for the presidency had strong arguments, but as you said before, one side won, one side lost, and the best thing we could do moving forward is just continue to live our lives.
Truly, continue to live our lives, continue to do the best we can to help others, and just know that truly the smartest people in America are working on either Democrat side or the Republican side to make America great.
And yesterday was also a sign of dominance from Trump. He had an estimated 270 points, I believe, to Harris's 226.
220,
And not only that, but he also won the House.
Won the House, yeah.
And that's
the popular vote as well.
Yep, that too. He went 7 for 7 in the swing states as well.
That's insane to me. I can't believe that. It shocks me because I did not see that happening at all. I'm pretty sure a lot of analysts were dead set that Kamala had a real good chance of winning the presidency.
Exactly. She had a lot of the more popular celebrity endorsements opposed to Trump, who had traditionally right-wing celebrities endorsing him. And it's just really crazy. I honestly think the winning party of the presidency, it should be split with the losing party should get the House and the Senate.
So that there's equal sides, equal opinions weighing from both.
And with the Project 2025, it makes me wonder how much of that is going to be executed from day one, like you said.
Now that he has so many Republicans inside of the government, yeah.
Yeah, and also today, Harris conceded as well.
And I saw that as
and
well.
Biden actually congratulated Trump on winning, and that's really surprising to me because I thought it was going to be a whole lot of discourse like what we saw in 2020 and obviously with January 6th.
I think it was pretty evident to see that if Trump had won, there would be not a lot of discord at all, as we're seeing right now. But if Harris had won, I could definitely have seen another January 6th incident happening to us.
And
or fraud being called out.
yes, that too.
Interference.
But I felt like this was, again, another important election, and
It was hugely important for minorities, the wealthy.
women as well,
Women,
too, because
huge.
abortion being
Yes.
on all the state ballots, too, that kind of definitely influenced the vote, I feel like.
What do you think the outlook for abortion is now?
Honestly, I'm not really sure, and whatever Trump plans to do with that, you just have to accept
Wait
it.
and see.
Yep, just wait and
truly,
see.
you just have to accept it.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
And also, I feel that we could always look forward to 2028, and I know Harris hopefully will try to run again and vote.
Well, I mean, if she does, wish her the best of luck as well.
Yeah, I wish her the best of luck as
One
well.
last
too.
question I have for you. Were you satisfied with the results? Do you think that everything went along smoothly?
Yes, I do feel like this went along more smoothly, and I was conscious in my decision. You know, I was registered independent, and that may rub some people the wrong way. But at the end of the day, I look at policy and what their plan is for me, and if they have the best interests
That's a
of
good
America
point.
at heart.
Nowadays, morals are so heavily woven into politics that it's blurry and hard to decipher the line between where politics starts and where morality ends.
Exactly, and that really is something I hold near to me, is the morality of it. Like, is this person a good person on paper, or do they just look good for our country?
Who would you let babysit your kids, Kamala or Trump? You know, those are the questions we should be asking ourselves.
Exactly,
Yes.
right. But also, do we want a strong president who's going to put America first?
That's also another, there's two ways to look at it, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all we have for right now, and we're going to cut to a break.
From adversity, we rose. We made history and became pioneers, voyagers, champions, Jayhawks. And when our chant rises, haunting and hallowed, Jayhawks are telling the world what's near. Victory.
Welcome back, I'm Hong.
And I'm Emma. This is your Wednesday Good Evening KU News Update. Last night, Donald Trump became the projected winner of the 2024 election, which would make him the 47th president of the United States. After winning Wisconsin, Trump secured the 270 electoral votes he needed to reclaim his presidency after his loss to Joe Biden in 2020. Upon retaking office, Trump will closely work with the now Republican-controlled Senate and has vowed to drastically reshape the federal government during his second term. Trump's victory marks the end of an incredibly competitive election season that featured 2 assassination attempts against him, as well as a shift to a new Democratic nominee in Kamala Harris a month before the party's convention. Trump is the first former president to return to power since Grover Cleveland in 1892 and will be sworn in as president on January 20th, 2025.
The next tropical storm scheduled to hit the Gulf of Mexico is called Rafael 1. Speeds increased to 85 miles per hour overnight, and Hurricane Rafael is expected to hit the Cayman Islands and Cuba today and then drop 1 to 3 inches of rain on the Florida Keys.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has fired Defense Minister Yoav Gallant for a second time, claiming a crisis of trust between them. Netanyahu first fired Gallant in 2023 after he raised concerns over a judicial overhaul that led to many protests in the country, but was reinstated when he backed down from instituting judicial reforms. Netanyahu claimed that there were significant gaps between him and Gallant during the course of Israel's war against Gaza. These gaps were followed by numerous actions and statements statements that contradicted the decisions of the Israeli government. According to Netanyahu, Foreign Minister Israel Katz is planned to replace Gallant, while Gideon Saar will become the new foreign minister.
Scientists in southern China discovered a new underwater creature is an underground cave system near Guangxi. The new species is a blinking creature and related to the recent Chinese cod launch. They are small creatures reaching just over 1 inch in length with wide heads, narrow mouth, but no eyes.
Ukrainian troops officially engaged with North Korean units sent to Russia to aid them in the war against Ukraine on Tuesday. According to a Kiev official, Ukraine's army fired artillery at the North Korean soldiers in Russia's Kursk border region. This marks the first official reports of Ukrainian and North Korean soldiers engaging in conflict, as the war approaches its 1,000-day milestone. The troops engaged in small-scale fighting, and Ukrainian's Defense Minister Rustem Umerov expects that 5 North Korean units of 3,000 soldiers each will be deployed to the Kursk area in the near future.
The KU soccer team will take on Texas Tech in just a few hours at the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City. The two teams have not met this season, but the winner of this semi-final will take on the winner of the TCU-BYU game in the conference final on Saturday. Kickoff tonight is at 7 p.m.
That's all for news. For more in sports, here are Sam and David.
Thanks, Emma. Women's soccer is 2 hours from kicking off their Big 12 tournament semifinal against 2-seed Texas Tech. Torrential rains and Lexi Watts' golden goal in the quarterfinals on Saturday injected some enchantment into this tournament run, but does Kansas have the class to overcome an opponent who generated the most shots and allowed the fewest goals, just 12, in the Big 12 this year? Certainly Nate Lee in his first season at Kansas will have his back line to trust. Olivia Page, Kate Langfelder, Caroline Castens, and Asa Conte have all played the full 191 minutes in this tournament and recorded 7 clean sheets this season. Either TCU or BYU awaits the winner.
20-1 is the current record of the volleyball team as they beat West Virginia in a 3-0 sweep last Saturday here in Lawrence. The Jayhawks are also 11-0 in conference play, and they will travel to Arizona State today as they are the second-ranked team in the Big 12 as they are 10-1 in conference play. This game is a must-watch as the winner will likely be the front-runner for the Big 12 championship. You can stream the game tonight at 8 p.m. on ESPN+.
And a big welcome back to college basketball. This past weekend gave us the last Saturday without college hoops until April 12th of 2025. Kansas tipped things off beautifully, dispatching MEAC favorites Howard 87-57 in Allen Fieldhouse. Highly heralded freshman Flory Badunga dropped a captivating 10 points on 5 of 5 shooting. Lots of exciting talk this offseason circled Flory, and he dazzled above the rim in the opener, but he wasn't the only gem. There is a slew of transfers on this KU roster, and Zeke Mayo and David Coit were the standouts Monday night. Mayo, acquired from South Dakota State as a Lawrence native, he led all scorers with 19 points. Coit scored 8, and the two combined to go 7 for 11 from three-point range. A better gauge of number 1 Kansas's cohesion is coming in some blockbuster non-conference games, including North Carolina on Friday night.
Thank you. The Kansas City Chiefs won their 8th straight game of the season against the Buccaneers in overtime on Monday, remaining the only unbeaten team in the NFL. Mahomes shined, going 34 for 44 with 291 yards and 3 touchdowns. Yet newcomer DeAndre Hopkins was the star of the show, catching 8 balls for 86 yards and 2 tutties, making a big contribution in his first game as a Chief. This week, the Chiefs will host Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos. Kickoff will be Sunday at noon on CBS.
Kansas football is fresh off a bye week and hosts 7-1 Iowa State this Saturday. 2 weeks ago, KU suffered a 16th consecutive loss to K-State. And in that game, senior back Devin Neal became the sole leader in total touchdowns in school history with 44. He now needs just 7 yards to become Kansas's all-time leading rusher on Saturday.
We now have the first edition of the new 12-team college football playoff as revealed last night, which will now feature the 5 highest conference champions and 7 at-large teams. And as expected, the top 3 teams in the country are Oregon, Ohio State, and Georgia. And even though Kansas will not be in contention this year, this new format gives a lot of hope to some of the smaller football brands of college football, like undefeated Indiana and current Big 12 leader BYU.
Women's basketball also plays Lindenwood tonight. Wanted to add that. That's all we have for sports. After the break, Aiden has the weather.
Where you go to college makes a statement. about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
Welcome back, Jayhawks. My name's Aiden Ball. I'm bringing you a weekly weather update. Looking at here outside real quick in Topeka, it is largely very clear here with a few stray clouds up north you can see here. These clouds are not expected to have any impact on our weather, however, as the trend for the next few days is going to be plenty of cool temperatures, bringing with them lots of sunshine with a few clouds here and there. However, looking ahead into our weekend, we do have the chance for a shower or two to pass through on Saturday, potentially impacting the Jayhawks as they take on the Iowa State Cyclones in football. Looking at our temperatures around our area, you can see temperatures are largely pretty uniform all throughout here, with these cool temperatures in their mid-50s all around. Ottawa looking a little bit warmer at 57, but not too much difference here. Looking outside here in Lawrence, we've had clear skies all day as the sun begins to set. We have had little wind. I know it's a real shocker here in Kansas, but there has not been much wind to speak of today, and this trend is expected to continue. Looking ahead at our overnight hours, we can see a gradual cool off into our mid to low 40s throughout the night, with our winds beginning to shift into the northeast at a calm 3 miles an hour. Looking briefly here, like we saw, very little cloud cover over here in eastern Kansas with us. However, we did see those clouds earlier in Topeka. These are what we're looking at here, as the clouds covered most of our friends out in western Kansas today, bringing with them a few showers or sprinkles, but not too much to be worried about. Looking for tomorrow at our forecast ahead, we are expecting largely the same, with cool temperatures prevailing, plenty of sunshine. However, these clouds are expected to return into our overnight hours. Not too much weather. However, these clouds do set a precedent for what is to come this weekend. Taking a look at our weekly forecast ahead, we can see clouds are expected to pass through well into Friday, with showers coming through Saturday morning into Saturday afternoon, potentially impacting the Jayhawks like we had said. However, the sun will come out earlier into next week, with temperatures gradually increasing into their 60s. Well, that's all I have for you. Passing it back to Emma with an interview with a man on the street.